Welcome back to Logistics Made Simple. And in this video, which is the third of a mini series, if you will, where we talked about utilities and gaps, we're now into looking at different roles that an intermediary player in a supply chain, a middleman, if you will, can bridge these gaps between suppliers and their customers, creating these utilities that the other actors are prepared to pay for. So these are like business models, if you will, for intermediaries in supply chains. We have the gap of quantity, meaning that a factory produces stuff in large quantities. And their customers might want to consume the stuff in much, much smaller quantities. So there is a need to be able to aggregate and to make both sides happy. And that's the first of these roles. It's called the aggregation role. With this aggregation role, you are basically prepared to take on a large quantity of something and store it and sell it to customers where they need it and when they need it. This is closely related to the gap in distance, where things are produced in one place and consumed in another place, and you might want to have a storage point close to the point of consumption. Because if it's a delivery lead time of 6 weeks per ship from one continent to another, the customers might want to look at another supplier that are closer by because they want maybe a 3-day delivery lead time or something like that. So there is a need to place storage points closer to the end customer sometimes, because you need to meet not only the place utility but also the time utility to get stuff to when the customers want them. So we have this aggregation role to collect large batches of something, but also the role of spreading those to where the customers are. And then we have the consolidation role. Now, consolidation means that we can collect different products into the same load unit or the same location or the same space. And this is because there is this gap of product range where customers want to choose from 10 different brands of soda and each factory only produces one of them. So there is a need to be able to get them all in the same location so that the customers can make a choice and they can make it close to the time they actually want it delivered. So when you go to your supermarket, this is the perfect example of this. In your supermarket, you have competing brands next to each other of different types of ketchup, for instance. And that's exactly what consolidation means in this context. The fourth role is the contact role. Let's say you buy a TV from a local store. When that TV breaks down, do you call the manufacturer or do you take the TV to the store? Most likely you take it to the store. And that's because that store has a contract with the manufacturer to handle customer requests, support, service, and so on. And that role, the contact role, is something worth paying for from the producer's point of view, because if they produce 10,000 products per hour of something, they have a potential inflow of support need if it's a complex product, which will totally swamp them if they want to do it themselves. So they outsource the support to other actors who will take over the contact with the final consumer. Most likely the place you bought it or some dedicated support organization. The fifth and final one is a role where we cater directly to the reformatting or the form utility to create variants of stuff. So a lot of middlemen, maybe not your supermarket, but maybe if you go to a dairy shop or the butcher shop or somewhere where you have like a large block of cheese and you say, yeah, I would like some cheese, but I don't want the whole block. I want 5 slices of that. I want a quarter of that, and I want 500 grams of that. Those suppliers will be able to reformat the products into your specific need. And that's a specific thing that you as a customer are willing to pay for. So they buy large quantities and they buy standardized products, and they can convert those products into whatever form you need. And that's something that you as a customer then are willing to pay for. So we have these 5 different roles. We have the aggregation role, the spreading role, the consolidation role, the contact role, and the role of creating variants. And all of these are different types of business models. And it's not uncommon for a distribution company to fill one or more or even all of these roles at the same time, because they are all in the business of making the transition from a supplier to the customers easier. The suppliers are maybe not interested in doing this themselves because they have a bunch of different markets in a bunch of different regions all over the planet. And the customers, they want help in creating maybe complex variants or making sure that they have the choice and things like that. If you like this, hit subscribe, tell your friends, comment below, and contact me with what you want to see in my future videos here at Logistics Made Simple. Bye.